Here on Blue Steel, we honor those who face danger every day. Today, we'll step back and look at the bigger picture, the commands that unite America's most elite warriors. From World War II commando raids to modern joint task forces, the evolution of U.S. Special Operations has been a story of daring, of failure, of reinvention, and of quiet and often hidden success. We'll explore the history and structure of the organizations that bind together America's most secret warriors, the Special Operations Commands. America's first real attempt at building a coordinated special operations capacity came during World War II, the Office of Strategic Services, better known as the OSS. This was established to handle espionage, sabotage, and resistance movements behind enemy lines. Its agents laid the foundation for much of the covert doctrine that would follow. At the same time, the U.S. Marine Corps had created its own elite units, the Marine Raiders. These raiders trained for lightning raids across the Pacific, striking Japanese positions with speed and aggression. Alongside them, the Army fielded Merrill's Marauders in Burma, who became famous for enduring brutal jungle campaigns and pushing deep behind enemy lines. But when the war ended, many of these units were disbanded. The OSS was dissolved in 1945, though much of the tradecraft lived on inside the new Central Intelligence Agency. For a time, America let its special operations capacities fade. By the Vietnam War, the need for unconventional forces was undeniable. The Army's Green Berets deployed to train and advise local forces in counterintelligence. Navy SEALs honored their riverine and guerrilla tactics in the Mekong Delta. The Air Commandos supported these missions with unconventional aviation. In Vietnam, America saw the rebirth of special operations as a critical part of modern warfare. In 1980, the world saw, however, how fragile America's fragmented system really was. During the Iran hostage crisis, Operation Eagle Claw attempted to rescue Americans held in Tehran. Delta Force, Rangers, Air Force crews, Navy support, they were brave, but they had never trained together as a unified source. When helicopters failed and the plan unraveled in the desert, 8 Americans died. The failure wasn't about courage. It was about organization. America had elite units, but no structure to bind them together, no cross-training, no understanding of cross-purposes. This disaster forced a reckoning in Washington. Lawmakers, generals, and veterans all agreed something had to change. The United States needed a unified command, an organization that could give special operations shared training, shared doctrine, and the ability to plan and to fight as one. That change came in 1987 with the creation of U.S. Special Operations Command, USSOCOM. Headquartered at MacDill Air Force Base in Florida, for the first time, all of America's special operations forces were brought together under a single command. But what truly set this apart was its independence. It was granted its own budget, its own authority to buy equipment, and direct access to the nation's top leadership. Special operations were no longer the neglected children of their parents' services. They had a seat at the table, a voice in defense planning at the top levels, and a command structure built to ensure that the failures of Eagle Claw would never happen again. The Army Special Operations Command, USASOC, within SOCOM, the Army provides the largest share of the Special Operations Forces through the U.S. Army Special Operations Command, or USASOC. Headquartered at Fort Liberty, North Carolina, USASOC includes the Green Berets, the 75th Ranger Regiment, the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, known as the Night Stalkers, along with psychological operations and civilian affairs units. Green Berets specialize in unconventional warfare and training foreign partners. Rangers bring shock power, capable of seizing airfields and raiding at scale. The Night Stalkers are legendary pilots, flying into the darkest of nights and most dangerous missions. PSYOP units shape perceptions, while civil affairs officers work to stabilize communities. Together, they cover the full spectrum of unconventional warfare. The Navy Special Warfare Command, NSWC. The Navy contributes through the Naval Special Warfare Command headquartered in Coronado, California. Its forces include the SEAL teams, the SEAL delivery vehicle teams, and special boat teams. Navy SEALs are perhaps the most famous of Americans' commandos, but far more than the Hollywood stereotypes may suggest, they specialize in maritime raids, reconnaissance, and counter-terrorism, and they operate primarily in secrecy. SEAL delivery vehicle teams infiltrate undersea, while special boat teams provide fast, covert mobility on the surface. From Vietnam to the raid on Osama bin Laden, the SEALs have been America's maritime raiders. Air Force Special Operations Command, or AFSOC, is the Air Force's contribution to the Special Operations Forces. This command, headquartered at Hurlbut Field in Florida, has forces that include combat controllers, pararescue jumpers, known as PJs, special tactics squadrons, and specialized aircraft crews. Combat controllers are unique. They can parachute into hostile territory, set up an airstrip, and then control the skies above it. PJs are elite combat medics, running into fire when others are running away from it. Special tactics teams combine these skills with precision air support. Above them, AFSOC gunships and tilt rotors provide devastating firepower and mobility. They bring the sky to Special Operations. Marine Forces Special Operations Command, MARSOC. The Marines were the last to join SOCOM. They created the MARSOC group in 2006. It's headquartered in Camp Lejeune. Their operators are known as Marine Raiders in honor of the World War II originals. MARSOC Raiders are trained for direct action, reconnaissance, and foreign internal defense. They combine Marine grit and SOCOM precision, and they have proven themselves around the globe as flexible and as reliable operators. Within SOCOM sits a unique subcommand, the Joint Special Operations Command, or JSOC. This is the most secretive and the most elite element of the Special Operations Commands. It commands units such as Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, and the 24th Special Tactics Squadron. JSOC handles the missions where failure is not an option. Counter-terrorism, high-value target raids, and global manhunts. From Mogadishu to Iraq to Abbottabad, JSOC has been the very tip of America's spear. After September 11th, Special Operations Command exploded in size and in importance. No longer a supporting role, Special Operations Forces became the main effort in America's wars. Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, the Rangers, and the Green Berets spearheaded global manhunts for Al-Qaeda. AFSOC brought mobility and firepower. PSYOP and civil affairs helped with populations. In Iraq, SOCOM hunted Saddam Hussein, dismantled insurgent networks. In Afghanistan, they pursued the Taliban across mountains and valleys. In Africa, Asia, and Europe, they trained partners and built capacity. At any moment, American special operators are deployed in more than 70 countries worldwide. They are truly global. They are a network of shadow warriors, and they are everywhere. But this global reach comes with a cost. The operational tempo has been relentless. Some operators have within their career deployed a dozen times or more to different places around the world. Families come under intense strain, marriages break, PTSD and invisible wounds linger far longer than the mission. And then there's the ultimate sacrifice, lives lost in operations the public will never know about. Names etched on memorial walls, brothers and sisters gone, remembered only by those who stood beside them. These warriors carry a legacy of sacrifice. Their work is often unseen, but its impact is felt in the safety of millions. From the OSS of World War II to today's global special operations commands, America's elite warriors have been forged in fire, in failure, and in courage. Their history is one of reinvention, of dedication, and of sacrifice. And here on Blue Steel, we'll continue telling their stories because the cost of facing danger every day deserves to be remembered.